Namaste. Welcome to this short practice to get us going in the mornings, but also in the wintertime. Wintertime can be a time when we like to spend a lot of time in stillness, and yin yoga can be very helpful there. But if, like me, you live in Scotland where it's quite cold, or wherever you are and it's quite cool, then sometimes engaging ourselves in a little bit of more dynamic movement and energetic movement can help us to bring our inner sunshine forward. And so that's what we're doing today. The yoga studio is really cold at the moment. It's about 14 degrees. So I'm going to keep my jumper on to begin with, and we'll get started straight away. So if you come to standing on your mat with your feet wide apart, comfortable distance for you, a little softness in the knees, and gently twisting from side to side. And I like to start with this practice, this Kati Chakrasana, because it helps me to begin to stimulate the energy centers in the body, to begin to twist across the central energy center, the solar plexus, which generates heat. And I find going into practice cold and without moving first isn't very useful for me. So if you don't need to do a little warm up first, then that's fine, but I certainly do. In my 20s and 30s, I could just get on the mat and pretty much do anything, but now in the 40s, not so much. So if you want to, you can pivot on your toes, allowing your shoulders and arms to be loose, relaxed. And if you want to add a little bounce in the knees, that can help to waken up the larger muscles in the legs, the buttocks, and of course the QLs in the low back. There's no set time for doing this, so if you want to do a little bit more, if you've got a little bit more tension to wring out of the back of the body or the chest, then you can keep going. But for me, I think I'm good. I'm going to lose my bounce, bring my feet to stillness, sway the body back to steadiness, and take a moment, just with the eyes gently closed or gazing downward, to feel the effect of coming back to stillness after that quite rapid movement. Feel the heart beating, the breath, the stimulus, the sensations on the skin, and inside the body too. And then when you're ready, fingertips on shoulders and just bringing the elbows together and up, and bringing the shoulder blades back and down. Breathing in forwards and up, breathing out back and down. Breathing in forwards, breathing out back. One more time, breathing in forwards, breathing out back. Let's reverse that motion. Breathe in back and up, breathing out forwards and down. Breathing in back and up, breathing out forwards and down. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Releasing the arms down to the side, just making any other movements that feel good. I generally don't need to warm up my neck, but if you do, you can take a few neck rolls or stretches. I find that the action of doing our sun salutation does all of the movements that I need for my neck. When you're ready, you can come to the front of your mat or the front of your yoga space. And we're going to take the first round of sun salutation, not really super slow, but we're going to ease ourselves into it. So maybe spend a bit more time doing more dynamic movements, because these are more useful for the body. So coming to have the feet as close together as you'd like to practice. I like mine just around about hip width apart. Spreading the toes, drawing the center of the feet up, allowing that lift to come all the way up through the body to the crown of the head, and turning the palms forward, which sets the chest open and the shoulder blades down the back, or at least apart at the top and together at the bottom. Breathing in here and breathing out, the hands to the center of the chest, palms together. Breathing in, reaching up, opening the chest just by lifting. And as you breathe out, fold forward from your hips, soften the knees if you need to, hands to the feet and head towards the knees. And in your first forward bend of the day, perhaps just doing a little gentle paddling with the knees, a little gentle swaying with the hips, whatever feels good to you. You might like to slightly come out of your forward bend and fold a little bit deeper down. And so you're not bouncing, it's a very, I've lost my word. It's very deliberate, that's the word. Raising and lowering, and just feeling into that sensation of slight lengthening in the back of the body. Very good. And then here in the center, you might like to just gently nod the head or shake the head to just ease some movement into the neck there. Then from here, I'm going to place the hands down by the feet and step the right foot back as far as it naturally goes, taking the knee to the floor. And we're going to do hip circles. So in our first lunge of the day, just circling the hips around. Doesn't really matter what your circles look like. You're exploring the movement available and also just stirring the femur bones in their sockets, in the hip sockets. You can go in both directions. And what that does is it helps to activate the muscles that support our hips, pelvis, low back, to make them ready for action. Very good. Coming back to the center, maybe looking slightly forward, pressing into the hands, lengthening through the back leg, and taking the front foot back to meet it. So you come into plank pose. And here in plank pose, you might like to just gently shift on your hands backwards and forwards. If you find plank difficult to hold for long periods of time, just dropping the knees down to the mat. And then again, just shifting backwards and forwards, feeling the weight come into the shoulders and the hands, and then come back into the heels or the feet or the knees. And when you're ready, you can drop the knees down. Gently bring the chest down by bending the elbows and the chin to the floor. So we're an 8-limb stick. Pointing the toes, placing the tops of the feet against the floor, and gently engaging the back of the body to lift the chest, as if you're drawing your hands back towards your thighs, your hips. Inhaling here in Cobra. And as you exhale, you can come through hands and knees if you want to, up into downward facing dog. First downward dog of the day. Letting it be a really fluid dog. So undulating through any parts of your body. You can press through the hands, 1 and 2. You can press through the feet, 1 and 2. You can wiggle the hips, wiggle the shoulders, turn the head. You can bend both knees if you like and wiggle your hips from side to side, if that feels good to you. And then from here, we're going to bounce forwards and backwards. So bending both knees and then pressing off the feet to bring the shoulders forward and bouncing back with bent knees, hips towards the heels. Pressing off the feet to bounce the shoulders forward and back. And then this time, stepping your right foot as you bounce the hips forward. And in our lunge, we're going to circle the hips. So we're now with the right foot forward, circling the hips. The lunge is on the other side. You can keep your back toes tucked under if it feels good to you. I prefer to do that when I'm doing circling movements, opposite direction as well. And if you focus on circling the hips rather than circling the knee, That might work for you. For some people, it works to focus on rolling through the ankle from side to side. Whatever you do, make sure that your knees feel comfortable. Coming back to center, looking forward, taking a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, stepping both feet to the front, hands to the feet, and head towards the knees. And here again, in your forward bend, you do a little bit of paddling through the backs of the legs. You can do a little bit of lifting and lowering. If you prefer, you can hold elbow to elbow and gently sway the upper body from side to side. That's maybe a sort of sway and twist. Or if you want to, you can play around with your shoulders and your neck, whatever feels useful to you. And then to come up, we're going to look forward, raise the arms out to the side. So we're hinging from the hips, the back is flat on the way up. Then we're going to drop the bottom and power through the legs to stand tall, raising the arms and exhaling the hands to Namaste. Oh, center of the chest. I always call it Namaste. It's an old habit, so I'm afraid that we'll have to stick with it. So I'm going to dispense with the jumper now. I have warmed up quite significantly on that round, and we'll do our next round. Adjust your clothing as needed. Stand tall in Tadasana, turn the palms forward, inhaling here. Exhaling the hands to the center of the chest. Inhale, reaching up and opening the chest by lifting the sides of the body, lifting the abdomen. And as you exhale, folding forward from the hips first, soften the knees on the way down into your forward bend. On this round, you might want to stay in your forward bend and play a little, or you might prefer to hold a bit more steady. A static stretch is sometimes less useful for the body than an undulation or a pandiculation. And so from here, we're going to step our left foot back, inhaling, left knee to the mat, opening the chest. And this time we're just going to float backwards and forwards. So we're going to lift the toes of the right foot away from the floor, extending through the back of the right leg. It doesn't need to be straight. Taking the hips back towards the left heel. And then bringing the hips forward and allowing your knee to travel wherever it feels comfortable to travel to. Gently moving backwards and forwards. And it can be slower and more deliberate, and you can keep the toes of the front foot down as well, if that feels comfortable. So just do a couple with the heel on the floor and the toes lifted, and a couple with the toes down, and feel the difference. Then from your lunge, placing the hands flat, inhaling and holding your breath as you come into plank pose, looking ahead of the mat. From here, exhale, knees, chest, forehead or chin to the floor. Point your toes, press the tops of the feet down, drag your hands back towards your hips as you lift the chest up. Looking forward, not up. Exhaling, hips up, heels down, downward facing dog. And again, first few dogs of the day. In fact, probably any dog of the day. Doing a nice movement through the back of the body, movement through the sides of the body. I particularly like taking the feet quite wide apart, taking the heels down to one side, and then bending and stretching the legs. That gets parts of the sides of my body that I can't otherwise get with my downward dog. I can come up and do the other side, dropping the heels down, bending and stretching like a plie with the knees. Keeping the hands relatively still, if that works for you. Coming back to the center. Now we're going to bounce forwards and backwards, so softening the knees, letting the hips drop to the heels a little, pressing off the feet to bring the chest and the shoulders forward, and then pressing back with the hands to bring the hips back. Pressing off the feet to bring the hips forward, and bouncing back. And this time, as you press forward, bringing the left foot forward as well. So we're in our left side lunge. And here we're floating backwards and forwards. So lifting the toes, extending through the back of the left leg, and then extending through the front of the right leg. Just doing a couple. I did 3, I think, of these. And then 3 with the toes down. And just feeling the difference. There's a very different sensation across the ankle, across the calf, the shin. And you might find that I find when my toes down, my hips go back less far. So observe how it is for your body. Coming into the lunge, taking a deep breath in, pressing off the back foot and exhaling both feet to the front of the mat, hands to the feet, head to the knees. And here, just a gentle sway or whatever you find useful in your forward bend. Lovely job. Coming back to the center to come up, look forward, inhale, lift the arms out to the side, drop your bottom with a flat back and reach. Exhaling, hands to namaste. Or center of the chest. Inhale, release the arms, adjust your clothing. Exhale, hands to namaste. Inhale, reach up, open perhaps a little bit further back this time. Exhale, folding forward, hands to the feet, soften the knees as you go down. Inhale, step the right foot back. Knee doesn't quite come to the floor this time. We're going to float backwards and forwards without the back knee touching the ground. So a little floating, just 2 with the heel extended, 2 with the toes extended. Just moving gently, feeling the difference. Then inhaling, stepping the left foot back, holding your breath in plank pose. And here in our plank pose, we're going to make swinging actions with the hips. So using our hips to make a circular action, we'll do 3 or 4 in one direction, and then we'll go in the opposite direction as well. Hula hooping and feeling our core muscles engage for sure. Coming back to center, exhaling knees, chest and chin or forehead to the floor. Point the toes. This time we're going to take the hands wide, press into the hands, press into the top of the feet and come up into a nice wide-armed cobra. And here we're just gently going to sway the chest from side to side. So the object of this is to stimulate the fascia, particularly in the back of the body and in the chest, by rolling, by undulating, by moving our effort, moving the muscles across each other. We think a lot about the superficial muscles, but the deeper muscles are also involved here. And then coming back to center, folding forward and down, hands underneath the chest, inhaling, and then exhaling into downward facing dog. So here we have an opportunity to keep moving in the dog, and certainly if downward dog isn't one of your most favorite postures, and it feels quite challenging for you, then stick with it. Stick with this basic shape and make it comfortable, or as comfortable as it's going to be. And if you want to do a little bit more, if you're ready for a little bit more action, just bringing the feet together, pointing the right toes back, inhaling the right leg up and exhaling the right leg down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. One more. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Then we'll bounce forwards. So bouncing off the heels, pressing the chest over the hands and bouncing back. This time stepping forward with the right foot. And we're going to leave the back knee down and make big circles with the right hand. Twisting to the right as we do. Leaving the left hand for support on the floor. One more circle, so we do 3 in total. And then turning to face the front, inhaling. Exhaling as we step both feet towards the front. In your forward bend, maybe just take an extra breath here. In and out. And then when you're ready to breathe in, to come forward, lifting the chest, lifting the arms, dropping the bottom, pressing all the way up, exhaling, hands to the center of the chest. We'll take a moment, because I have obviously worn the wrong top today and need to get it tucked in. Fabulous. Whew. Okay, so other side, standing in Tadasana, turning the palms forward, inhaling. Exhaling, hands to Namaste. Inhaling, reaching up and perhaps even reaching open. Exhale as you fold forward, hands to the feet, maybe soften the knees a little. Inhale, step the left foot back, but keep the knee off the floor. And we're just going to float from almost a knee touching the floor to pressing back and lifting the toes. Floating backwards and forwards. We'll do 2 with the toes lifted. And 2 with the toes down. Just feeling our way into that movement, keeping strength through the whole of the lower body. Inhaling here and then holding your breath as you come into plank pose. And here, this time, we're going to come down onto our forearms and gently do our hip circles again. So our hula hooping planks. We'll do 3 or 4 in this direction. And then the opposite way as well. And don't worry if your movement's smaller, just doing what comes naturally to you. Then from here, we're going to come back up onto our plank. And then exhaling, knees, chest, forehead or chin. Hands are going to be wide, forehead down to the floor, tops of the feet down to the floor. Inhaling, coming up into your wide armed cobra. And this time, as we turn from side to side, if you want to, you can dip your opposite shoulder down. So turning to the right, dipping the left shoulder down, coming up in the center, turning to the opposite side. And pressing up and sort of like a twist and fold. At the same time, keep that sense of energy in the back of the body, in the buttocks, tops of the feet pressing down, so we're really engaged the hamstrings as well, the low back. Very good. Coming back to center and exhaling all the way down. We'll take the hands underneath the shoulders. Press up through hands and knees if you want to into your downward facing dog as you exhale. Take maybe a few little paddles in your dog. And again, you can stay in a more basic shape if you want to. But if you'd like to, imagine pressing your hands away from each other and firmly down into the mat. Inhaling, lifting the left leg up. Doesn't matter how high it goes. Exhaling down. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Do 1 more for luck, because I can't remember if we did 3 or 4 on the other side. And then from here, we're going to bounce forward. So soft knees, pressing off the feet to bring the shoulders forwards over the hands. And sitting back, and this time, stepping forward with the left foot as we inhale. Opening the chest, back knee comes down, right hand stays down. And sweeping circles with the left arm. So I find it's easier to inhale up and exhale back. But if you prefer, you can breathe in a different way. When you've done 3 circles, turning to look at the front, inhaling here. And as you exhale, step both feet to the front, hands to the feet, head to the knees. Take a moment. If you can turn the backs of your hands to the floor, it rests your wrists in quite a nice way. If you don't naturally reach the floor, you can rest your hands anywhere that feels good, or hold elbow to elbow, just for an extra deep breath in and deep breath out. To come up, look forward, lift the belly, lift the arms, drop the bottom, press through the legs to stand tall, and exhale the hands to the center of the chest. Inhale in Tadasana, adjust your clothing as needed, turn the palms forward, and exhale, hands to the center of the chest. Inhale as you reach up. If you want to here, firming the belly and the buttocks and just opening the chest. And then exhale as you fold forward from the hips, hands to the feet, head to the knees. Inhale, step the right foot back as far as it goes, and we are going to keep the back leg straight this time. So here we're going to gently lengthen the front leg so we get a long straight leg coming up onto the heel, and then we're going to bend the front knee. We're going to keep the back leg straight or straightish all of the time. So up onto the heel, pressing the back heel down and coming forward again. This time keeping the toe down, pressing the back heel down. My heel isn't on the floor, that's okay. It's in that general direction. Last one, toe down on the left leg. Super duper stuff. Here we plant our hands firmly on the floor, come into our plank pose. And this time we're going to do side planks. So if you need to take a breath to prepare, do. Make sure that you're feeling really stable with your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to drop the heels to the right side, lift the left arm up, turning towards the left, and then come back to center in our plank, pivoting on the toes. Drop the heels to the left side and lift the right arm up. Keep lots of space underneath your body. Really reach your top arm up, press your bottom arm down. Going side to side. So we end up doing 3 on each side. And I don't have to tell you to keep your belly muscles firm. You are going to have to do that to be able to do this. Okay? So the best way to activate core muscles is to recruit them into movements. Coming back to center. Exhaling, knees, chest, forehead or chin to the floor. And here we're going to take just a moment to rest the forehead down to prepare for snow angels. So we're reaching the hands back down to the hips. This time on the right side, we're going to keep the feet firmly planted into the floor. Inhale as you roll the shoulders back, lengthen the hands down towards the feet and open the chest, lifting the head. And then exhale, sweeping the hands forward over the head, just tucking the chin towards the chest a little, head still off the floor. Inhaling up, looking forwards, hands down. Exhaling, reaching over the head, chin a little towards the chest. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do 5. This is 3. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And from here, hands back down to the mat, forehead to the floor. Take a moment if you need it. Tuck the toes under, and we'll come up into downward facing dog. So on our previous round, we did a little lift and lower. And if you want to build on that, you can. So we're going to bring the feet together, hands really nice and firm into the mat, lifting the right leg up, a little bit higher perhaps this time, and then bending the knee, stacking the right hip on top of the left hip, and opening the knees away from each other. So leading with your heel to take your heel over to the left side behind you. And you can do sort of like a pulse here. So a sort of rolling in and out, if that feels good. Excellent. From here, we're going to lengthen the right leg, drop the right hip so it's more neutral, look forward, inhale, and as you exhale, draw the knee into the chest. Inhale, lengthening the leg back up, 3-legged dog, looking forward. Exhaling, knee to chest. Inhaling. Exhaling. This time we're coming into full-on triangle. Inhaling, right leg up. Exhaling, knee to chest. We're going to step the right foot underneath the left side of the body. Lift the left leg up. Roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. Yes, and the sole of the left foot, and lift the left arm over the head. And here we're going to do circles with that top arm. So taking the arm around, feel the chest open, the head can follow. I think we've done 2, we'll do 1 more. Very good, very strong in the right arm. I'm going to bring the left hand down, Step back into our three-legged dog, look forward, and inhale as you step the right foot forward to the hands. Don't need to do it quite as heavily as I did. So here we're keeping the back knee off the floor, and we're going to circle with the right arm. So we're doing twisting to the right now. Very good. Nice, 3 nice circles. As expressive or large as you wish them to be. Then turning to the front, inhaling. I like to lengthen my front leg and then exhale as I step the feet to the front. Take a moment in your standing forward bend, perhaps turning the backs of the hands to the floor, making any shimmers or ripples or movements that feel good, particularly in the shoulders, the neck, the arms. And then when you're ready, inhaling, looking forward, lifting the chest, lifting the arms, dropping the bottom, pressing all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands down to the center of the chest. Take a moment to adjust your clothing. Stand in Tadasana, palms facing forward. Let's take a deep breath between this side and the next side. Sighing out through the mouth. Okay, let's begin our left side. Breathing in and exhaling, hands to the center of the chest. Inhale, reaching up if you want to, reaching open, firm belly, firm buttocks. Exhaling, folding forward, hands to the feet and soften the knees as you come forward and down. Inhale, step the left foot back. And this time we're going to keep the back knee straight and just float between extending the right leg, pulling the heel up, and bending the right knee, allowing that openness across the front of the left thigh. So toes up first, and then we'll do 2 with toes towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they don't stay all the way down, but toes towards the floor. And so you find which movement suits you best, what accesses what for your body. Then we'll place the hands onto the floor, step into our plank pose. Just breathing here, okay? So last time we did side planks, and this time we're going to do a side plank and hold. If you want to, you can simply plank if you prefer. So we're dropping the heels to the left, lifting the right arm up. And then here you have one foot in front of the other. You can hold here. You can place, she says, yes, the right foot on top of the left if you want to. Feel that lift underneath the body. And then press into the left hand and the foot if you want to raise the right arm and leg up. Hold as you breathe in and out. And then lowering gently into plank pose. We're taking a breather in plank. You never thought it would be a resting posture. And then we do the opposite side. So rolling the heels to the right, lifting the left arm up. Really preparing by pressing down first. Then if you want to, left foot on top of right. And that's a challenge enough, but if you want to, you can also raise the left arm up, left leg even. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Coming back into plank pose, and then coming down, knees, chest, forehead, or chin. Oh, that was good. Take a moment with the forehead on the floor. We're going to reach the hands back so that the thumbs are pointing down, palms towards the body. And we're going to prepare for our flying angels, but this time with the lower body working as well. So to begin with, press the tops of the feet down, pubic bone down, roll the shoulder blades together and breathe in as you reach the hands down towards the feet or the hips. And then from here, we're going to exhale and reach the arms over the head, chin to chest. When we come back this time, inhaling, lift the legs as well. Keep the legs up, exhaling, chin to chest as the arms come over the body. Inhaling, looking forward, arms down by the sides. Exhaling, chin to chest, arms over the body, over the head rather. Inhaling, hands to the sides. Exhaling. Last one, inhaling up. See if you can just come up a little higher. Exhaling, chin to chest. And then we're going to lower the legs, arms, and head down for a moment of breathing in and breathing out. Hands underneath the chest and come into your downward facing dog. So you might need a little moment in down dog after that practice just to undulate or move in some way. But when you're ready, you can of course stick with a normal dog. But if you want to, prepare your hands, prepare your core, and then lifting the left leg up, stacking the left hip on top of the right hip, bending the left knee, and imagining you're pushing the left heel towards the right side behind you. So a little gentle pulse here as you take the knees a bit further apart. Strong in the arms, strong in the shoulders. Then we're lengthening the left leg and we're dropping the left hip down. We're going to look forward as we inhale and exhale, knee into chest. Inhale up, three-legged dog, looking forward. Exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee. Inhale up, this time we're doing fallen triangle. Exhaling, knee in, and then stepping the left foot underneath the right hand and foot, raising the right arm up. We're in fallen triangle, and we're going to gently make big circles with the top hand to the right hand as we keep lifting underneath the body. Pressing down into the right leg, the left hand. We're coming back with both hands onto the mat, coming back into our three-legged dog, and then stepping the left foot forward, a little bit lighter on this side, thank goodness. Pressing back into the right heel, keep the right hand down, and making circles with the left arm this time, twisting towards the left. It's been quite hard work, but I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to inhale as we look forward, lengthening the front leg if you want to. Exhale, both feet to the front, hands to feet, head to knees. So here, I'm going to just widen the feet a little bit. Take the arms elbow to elbow if you want to pendulum, or backs of the hands to the floor if you can easily soften the elbows in that way. And make any swaying movements that feel good. You can press from one knee to the other, one foot to the other, sorry. You can do a little bit of nodding of the head, shaking of the head, rolling the shoulder blades down. Whatever feels good to you. A little bit of waving up and down in your forward bend if that feels good. And then when you feel that you've been able to ease off the tension, and just rest the breath a little, but coming up. So breathing in, looking forward, reaching the arms out, bending the knees to drop the bottom, reaching up as you keep inhaling and exhale. Hands to the center of the chest. And here we're just relaxing now. So if you need to, adjusting your clothing. Turning the palms forward, but gently. Taking an opportunity to close the eyes or gaze downward, gazing at one spot. Observe the effect of your practice. Observe the sensation in the soles of the feet. The sensation on the skin across the back and the front of the body. Observe the sense of tingling perhaps or movement within the body itself. Perhaps you can feel much more awareness of your heartbeat, your breath. And can you feel anywhere where you're holding? And if you feel that you're holding anywhere, can you move gently to release that pattern of holding? Can you soften your forehead, your jaw, the area around your eyes, your tongue? And if you want to, you can begin to move gently. I'm just sort of wiggling a little bit from side to side in the hips, in the shoulders, and the wrists. And so this is our completed short practice. And we're going to take the opportunity now to do a relaxation. So your relaxation can be as short or long as you have time for, but if it is less than 7 minutes, your muscles won't truly relax. So although that's an arbitrary number, of course, for some people it would be a little bit less. So give yourself as much time as you can. Remember that the relaxation is the part of the practice where our body assimilates everything that we've done. So putting on your warm clothing and then coming into lying down by holding the knees and rocking down onto your back. And you can rock a little bit up and down through the spine until you kind of weeble yourself all the way onto the floor. And then to begin with, have your knees bent and your feet on the floor. And allow your spine to adjust to this more neutral position, this steady position. Notice if you have any holding patterns or tension. And a really useful way to release it is to have the feet really wide, arms relaxed, and just gently sway the knees from side to side. They don't have to get anywhere. It's not about the shape that you make. It's about the feeling that you get. The sense of ease of tension, the sense of space, the opportunity for harmony. So if that feels good, you can do a few more. You don't have to if you don't want to. And when you come back to the center, perhaps just feeling across the shoulders and the neck. And I find it's useful to cross my arms over the body and just gently roll my head. It's like waving my nose from side to side. Hence the hair is in a mad bun, so that I can easily do this. And then I do that also with my arms wrapped the opposite way, because it just accesses the muscles a little differently. And that's just a lovely way to release. Coming back to center and then extending the legs really quite wide apart from each other so that the toes can fall out. That's much more restful for the pelvis than it is to have the legs close together. Of course, if you're more comfortable with something underneath your knees, you can go for that. Take a few deep breaths, exhale through your mouth. Let go, relax, surrender down into the floor. And then allow your breath to quieten, to flow in and out through the nose again. Find stillness in your body. And with that stillness, allow any tension to ease from across the forehead, the area around the eyes, the tongue, the jaw. Allow your breath to find a deep, steady rhythm. So your body is at rest. Your breath is easy. And your mind can find that restful ease as well. If you have time to give yourself a little bit longer in relaxation and you wish to stay where you are, continue to breathe and relax. If it's time for you to move, just bringing a little bit of movement back to your fingers and your toes, your wrists, your feet. And we're going to do that pandiculation stretch. So a rippling stretch through the body, like you see a cat or a dog or a child do. When we wake up, this is the best way. Just not really holding any one position, but just feeling like you're making that shivery ripple go through all of your muscles. When you're ready, you can bend your knees into your chest. Make any movements that feel good. When you're ready, roll onto one side. Come up into sitting. Bring your palms together, sitting tall. And just give yourself a little thank you for the time, the space, the practice. And I hope that you have a great day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice.